Now we'll talk about the most important part, that is creating a preference, that is a rule. So each and every time it is not possible to again update the expanding, change the design, change the doubling system. So instead of doing this again and again, we can save this as a rule. For example, there are multiple rules for multiple modules, such as for base module you have certain rule, or for one unit there's a certain rule. So we can save those rules. So in this case, I had taken a simple base cabinet. So with my standards, so we can do. So we can see here, I have a single door, two drawers, and with a drawer box. And you can also notice that at the top I am going to joinery as covering the sides and bottom as in between the side panels. So I constructed a cabinet according to my standard now. So even you can see the doweling, I given two dowel and two minifigs. So according to my standard. Now to save this particular rule, what we should do is we should go to this option called as preference. Click on preference. So to create new preference, click on this drop down menu near the star and click on from current cabinet and name this rule 1. I'll save this as anyone, rule 1, and click OK. So you'll get this cabin preference window. So here you must cross verify everything. So coming to structure, there is an option called as drawer box here. So click on drawer box. So when you're applying drawer box, each and every time instead of adjusting the space for the drawer guides, you can directly enter the values here 13, here also 13, and upper and lower limit values. If you want to leave it as 5, I'll leave it as 5. If you want to change the drawer depth, so if initially it is taken as standard, so if you are using only the depth of 450, you can enter the value 450. And in some cases the doors which are used may be same for all panels, so you can go to door model, you can select the door model you need. So in this case I will see Leon exit door, external door. So I will come here, click on Leon external door, and I will once again cross verify my doubling system. So tools name, everything is applied. Into panels it's banding. So we can once again cross verify the edge banding being applied in the carcass. So we can see, so it is getting applied according to my record. So after we cross verify everything, you can just click OK. So a new rule is created. So if you drop down and see, we will be able to notice that we have a rule 1. So now to demonstrate this, I created my rule. There are two ways to apply this preference. I'll say one by one. So you can go to cabinet. So this is the default. So if you see here, this is the default rule which is being applied. So you need to change this default to the rule which you want need. So in your opening, if you want that particular rule to be applied, you can come here, you can select the rule, and you can just save. So if you come back and come again to cabinet edit, you can see we'll get a carcass with the edge banding. That is because you see that rule 1 is loaded at the start. So if you don't want, you can again click on default and click OK. If you need to change only this for only this time, what you should do is I'll again come to cabinet, and what I'll do is go here, select the type I need to change, rule 1, and click on this recreate the cabinet according to the select profile. Click OK. You can see automatically the carcass with the applied edge banding. So even if we go and enable this, you can see we get the back panel. And if we apply the partition, go here, apply the partition, even the partition will get the edge banding. And as I said, when I apply in drawer box, I'll show you, when you apply in drawer box, automatically you get the gaps. I'll go to drawer box, so you can see 13. When I apply in drawer box, automatically you're getting the tolerance as 13. So this is the way you are saving the the new rule. So instead of repeating the same procedure every time for each and every cabinet, you can just save this rule for base unit one rule, for wall unit one rule, for wardrobe one rule. So saving these rules, you can just apply. So as I said, this is the one method for changing the preference. So in some cases, instead of doing it one by one, you can select multiple cabinets. For example, you need to change the rule for these three cabinets. You can go to outside window. There is an option called as apply preference. In the cabinet option, there is an option called as apply preference. Here again, it will list out. We can see the number of rules we are having. We select the rule we need, and it will ask whether to apply the preference for cabinet, structure drawer, and token. So I think we need to apply for all. We can select all three, and again it will ask cabinet. So this, if the cabinet rule is selected, what will happen is the entire cabinet structure will be changed. So if for example, I'll select a rule. So initially we can see there is no skirting here for this cabinet, for this two cabinets and this cabinet too. So I'll select a rule which has an skirting and click OK. So after processing, we can see we are getting a skirting here, skirting height. This is because in that rule I have entered the skirting for the cabinet. So I'll to undo this operation. So now I will again select these three cabinets. I'll go to apply preference and select the same rule. That is, I select this rule and deselect this option. I need only the cam and the panel settings to be changed. Then click OK. So the cabinet construction will remain the same. Only the cam setting and the panel setting will be changed. So you can see there is no change in the cabinet structure. Only coming to the cam, you can see the cam setting has been changed. And if we generate the continuous, we can change the panel change, the material and the edge banding change that has been happening. So this is the way how we customize the preference and apply the preference.